Another work day down the tubes, I guess is the saying, or out of the way or something to that effect. I don't have my lapel, so I just have to do it this way. It is warm out here. Wow, finally we broken through to 81 degrees in Wisconsin. Yeah, it is darn near summertime out here. Anyways, it is day 58, the 4th of June 2024. Taking off, so ride with me. All right, couple things. Number one, again, someone has come to me talking about the limited availability of quote unquote good men. Apparently I am the magnet for this topic here. So since my universe keeps attracting individuals, both men and women, to me regarding this topic, then I must be called and chosen for a time such as this to have this conversation and to hopefully impact and influence and do some things proactively in regards to that topic. So let's get it going. Ladies, the problem is, as I've stated previously, the problem is more so that the supply of free living males is dwindling drastically. I told you that this is going to become an epidemic, I believe is the proper term, where it will actually be studied and recognized by government agencies and whatever, as being a significant issue and problem. There's a number of reasons why this is the case. I won't bore you with those details right now. We'll do a little bit more digging on that. So generally, just talking on the topic, that is, think of, if you live, like, okay, I'm in Milwaukee, or I'm outside of Milwaukee in, about 20 minutes. All I hear about are young men, especially. I know that there's young women involved as well, but young men that are crashing into people, killing themselves, high-speed chases. These are your 18, even younger, 16, 18, early 20s, that are doing these things, that are getting shot up by police officers, that are recklessly driving and flipping over cars and, just doing all this kind of robbing people, it's just, and this is happening, countrywide. Not maybe worse in certain areas, but then on top of that, we're post-COVID, where the economy essentially ground to a halt, killing businesses, the type of businesses that afford the youth or these young men and women jobs, employment that will keep them busy and engaged and off the streets, and give them some funding, to perhaps strike out on their own in whatever way possible. All that's gone. And then you had the government handing out all kinds of funds, PPE loans or whatever they were called, all this, this funding that basically made the people more lax, more lazy. So they're just looking for more handouts from the government. You got social welfare programs, And so all of this, and then the drug culture, you know, dealing with the psychological fallout of all the aforementioned. So more drug use than perhaps ever before. Then you got the legalization of things like marijuana. Okay. You got politics becoming more complicated than ever before. Corruption, you know, widespread, more so than ever before. You know, the fear machine running at a level perhaps higher than ever before, and on and on and on it goes. This is what the youth have to contend with. So those 18 to early 20-year-olds, this is what they're dealing with. And not to mention, there's not many of us elder folk, whatever you want to say or term it, that are taking these youth under our arms and, you know, teaching them lessons that we in our 40s and what have you learned by our neighbors getting on our case when they saw us doing things we know we ain't got no business doing. But nobody's doing that for these youth anymore because they're afraid of the youth, because these youth, you know, carry guns. And so that's a grim picture, and you know, it is what it is. This is what's going on. But now, you know, consider that this also has crept into the 30-somethings as well. You know, the younger 30s. Okay, there's that, wherever that borderline is at. And so the quality of life that people, you know, once had or had a possibility to obtain is not really there anymore. Okay? You know, the trades are hard pressed, are hit pretty hard. You know, because everybody wanted to go to school to be in, you know, IT or something, or some other field that was trendy, but nobody really bothered to go into the trade skills and what have you, which are very necessary or foundational to the infrastructure of society. Nobody wanted to do those jobs, so they didn't take those classes and those certifications. There's a big gap in society now. But anyways, I digress. My point here is that women, this is what, you know, this is what you have to contend with. Hold on. This is what you have to contend with. And then I'm hearing young ladies that are, you know, in their early 20s and 30s, they're saying, I would never date within my own peer group. So guess what? They're dating older and perhaps even younger. I mean, I'm hearing a lot about, you know, these teachers, you know, that are getting caught up dating their students and what have you. So you're hearing a lot of crazy stuff going on, but this is what's going on. This is my point. And so this is going to be a major issue and a major problem, and people are starting to now talk about it on the DL, right? Nobody wants to admit, you know, that you're only going to run into one decent guy out of, you know, 100 or 500. No woman wants to face that reality, because why? You know? Nobody's going to want to face that reality. But it is a reality, and it's not going to get better anytime soon. So we better start talking about this and having this discussion. You know, if you happen to be the good guy or the decent guy or what have you, that, you know, got your feet underneath you and whatever, you are in demand. You are in demand. And as I was talking to the individual, wow, I got a big police presence up here. As I was talking to the individual today at work, who happens to be, at least in appearance and in my opinion, one of those decent guys, I told him, hey, you know, you better, you know, think it through. You know, you don't have to necessarily, you know, be stuck with one individual. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just keeping it real. You don't have to get tied down with anybody, man. You can date, you can do whatever. You know, and he's like, well, yeah, you know, I guess if the girls don't want a decent guy that I'm trying to be, and they want the hood guys and all that kind of stuff, then it's their loss. I said, yeah, essentially it is. You know, the only other alternative is that everybody just kind of, you know, stays in a bachelorette or bachelor type of lifestyle. Everybody dates, just has a good time. Don't worry about, you know, marriage or civil unions or anything like that. Just have fun, live it up, you know, enjoy each other's company, you know, which is what I lean more towards that. You know, you may argue that, well, society is built on families. Yeah, but it may be built on the collaboration and unification of a man and woman, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there also has to be a contract, a civil union contract, a marriage certificate involved, right? I mean, I know that that's, you know, in contrast with, you know, the Western idea of family and Judeo-Christian tenets and what have you. I get it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it works, you know, or that it has potency or vitality. If you haven't noticed, that whole systematic way of thinking having to do with, you know, civil unions and marriage is fading away, and it's fading away fast, and they know it. It's fading away very fast. All right, people are starting to figure it out. But anyways, I plan to have this discussion more in depth. I also plan to start a group, probably a Facebook group for fathers, especially for child support issues and whatever. So these are discussions that we just need to start having. Really, y'all. Like, you know, we need to dial back on government subsidies, handouts, and you know, the government swooping in like Superman all the time. We need to get back to being men, and women need to get back to being women, whatever that means. I'm not going to act like I know what it means to be a woman. All I have is what the church has taught me what a woman should be, and that's subservient, quiet, all those, you know, all those negative connotations, you know, women being like a nun and all that kind of stuff. That's all I know about what a woman should be, right? So we have to have that discussion so guys can understand you as well. We have to put together programs to heal the minds of men and the minds of women so that we can start giving each other a fair chance again. Right now, we're not giving each other a fair chance. We come into relationships. We come into relationships with preconceived notions and prejudice already. You know, we come in with expectations that, You know, if it's a black guy, he's going to act like this. If it's a white guy, he's going to act like this. If it's an Asian guy, he's going to act like this. And vice versa for the female side, for the women and men's side. You see what I'm saying? And so we got to start talking again. If we want to set this right, ladies, regardless, it's going to be very slim pickings for you regardless. All right? I'm just sounding the alarm. You can believe me or don't believe me. Okay? You can believe me or don't believe me. Yeah, I guess to me that is really important. It's very important. I came from broken home, divided home, raised without a father, all that, you know, the whole, wow, I came from that. You know, it doesn't work out well. You know, mom does the best she can, but it does not work out well. And we can fix this issue, not relying upon government fix. We legitimately can fix this issue if the people will just start to talk again. You know, even if it's a negotiation, let's negotiate. Let's wave the white flag and call truce. Okay? I can assure you that going forward the next 3 to 5 years, y'all, the whole issue of marriage and all that kind of stuff is going to look completely different. Men and women relationships going to look completely different. I'm just telling you. It's going to look completely different. Because this model cannot sustain. It's not going to sustain us. It's not going to sustain. People will, you know, obviously the church is going to keep trying to push that model. But ultimately, no human being, man or woman, wants to be alone. Right? And you do have the option to switch. Just keeping it real, you have the option to switch genders if you know that you are interested in now. You have that option, yeah. Freedom of choice, freedom of religion, freedom of belief. You have that choice. But some people don't want to switch, and so I don't believe that anybody should be forced to switch just because there are not adequate members of the opposite sex available for them. So the only other option is we start to have a conversation. We start talking this stuff through. We start working together. We start interviewing each other. We start not allowing government or other agencies or TV or movies to impress our minds to make us think some type of way about the opposite sex. Let's legitimately have a conversation with the opposite sex to find out what's really going on. What's really going on in the minds and the hearts of the opposite sex. If we don't do that, government will swoop in and take care of it for us. But it's going to look more like control, more like civil unions, more like contractual obligations through, you know, state-sanctioned relationship models and all this kind of stuff. We are coming out. Don't y'all feel that? Don't y'all understand and realize that we are coming out of that model? I know y'all see it. I know y'all feel it. Most of y'all probably watching TV like, man, what is the way we do things now? Because anything goes. Anything goes. It's a free-for-all right now. But I still hear the cry of both men and women almost on a daily basis. There are no, you know, good men anymore. And they're very depressed about it. It's obvious. They're very sad about it. Because there is a beauty, obviously, you know, when a man and a woman, you know, come together, not just talking sexually, but just kicking it, having fun together too. There is that, you know, being tolerant doesn't mean that we become intolerant of what was already existing. Do you feel me? Being tolerant of other sexuality and, you know, does not mean to do away with or vilify the system that was already, or the relationships that preceded. It never meant that. It's not supposed to mean that. It should not vilify what was already in place. We should be left to choices. Everybody should have their choices. That's your choice. You know what I mean? I hope you understand where I'm going with this. But these are just things. I'm just sharing things. This is what has been coming across to me, and I definitely want to deal with it. I mean, this is my gift. This is my calling to use this platform to have these discussions and talks, and so I intend to do so, and I intend to do so thoroughly and effectively. Most importantly, I'm not just on here for clicks. Let's have this discussion. Let's get working on this. All right. So with that being said, it's been 20 minutes. I didn't mean to make this that long as usual. But see you on the next upload. Think these things through. I really want to hear what you have to say. Leave a comment in the comment section. And definitely give a thumbs up if you appreciate the content and the discussion. And also make sure that you share this, because we need this to get out to other people so that we can begin to have these conversations. All right, stay tuned for more announcements on the groups that I'll be forming. And yeah, we're going to make this thing move, okay? Talk to you soon. Peace.